For the singles, for those that are in preparation to marriage, believe they're single, they're dating to marry. Do you trust God regarding your spouse? Hey, somebody.
What up, though, somebody?
Welcome to Build for This Kingdom Marriage. I'm Jazz.
And I'm RJ. Here we discuss kingdom marriage, dating to marry, also growth and healing.
Our hope is that we all come to a clear understanding of God's will regarding love and relationship, aka marriage. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to Built for Kingdom Marriage with Jazz and RJ. I'm Jazz. This is my husband RJ. And we thank you guys for tuning in again. Today we're going to be talking about trusting in God. Our question is, do you trust God? I have Proverbs 3, 5 through 7, and then Proverbs 16,
3.
verse 3.
Yeah.
Now, anytime you're reading scripture, don't just take the verses. I know we'll highlight certain verses, but read the whole chapter. I like reading the whole chapter.
Yep.
But if you're not going to read the whole chapter, if you at least read the 2, 3, 4 verses before and after, right? Yeah. So in our word, we do have where there's the sections where it's telling you this section is talking about that. Read the whole section at least. Mm-hmm. But you're going to get more. What I learned and understand, you get way more when you just read the whole chapter, when you just read the whole section. So when I say, do you trust God regarding your spouse? I'm coming out of Proverbs 3, 5 through 7 first, where it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Now that's New King James Amplified Version. It says, trust in and rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart. Do not rely on your own insight or understanding. Verse 6, in all your ways know and acknowledge and recognize him, and he will make your path straight and smooth, removing obstacles that block your way. That's good. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord with reverent awe and obedience, and turn entirely away from evil. Proverbs 16:3 says, commit your works to the Lord and your thoughts will be established. The Amplified says, commit your works to the Lord, submit and trust them to him, and your plans will succeed if you respond to his will and guidance. So the reason I have those there is if we give our plans or give if we give back what God told us or already promised us, giving that back to him, we can be assured that it's going to come to pass. We can be assured that we're in his will. If I'm in his will, he's going to give me the desires of my heart. The desires of our heart, he places in us, like I always say, and then we give it back to him, meaning I'm not going to try to do this in my own way, Lord. I'm not going to try to go and seek this thing on my own, Lord. I want you to partner with me. I want you to lead me and guide me by way of your Holy Spirit. So I'm giving this back to you so that it happens the way you see fit. So I asked, do you trust God regarding your spouse? Because are you okay with his plans? So in Jeremiah 29:11, he says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. This is why I'm saying, are you okay with the Lord's plans? Because I know as much as we say that, we have struggles. Some of us struggle with that, and it's great when you can admit that you're struggling with it. I know sometimes you like, I don't have unbelief, but we do though. That's why the scripture says, Lord, help me with my unbelief, because we do have unbelief, even if it's unknown. And when I say unknown, I mean, for me, example, I felt like, oh no, I believe the Lord. I trust what he's saying. I believe. But then when I was tried in a certain area, I did realize I had unbelief, or I didn't believe the Lord fully. I didn't trust him fully. That's what I'm saying. I didn't trust him. And I had to try him in that area. So wherever you don't believe God or struggling to believe God, that is where you need to take the word and try him in that area. meaning know him, understand him in that area. So for example, all last year, it was the Lord as my father, Abba. I just got used to saying dad. I didn't have a father in my life. It was prophesied that I was going to know him as Abba, Father, and I knew that because the Lord already was showing me that. So I knew that that was what I was going to be experiencing. But I thought, well, I do trust him as Abba, Father. I do know he's my dad. He's my father first and all that. Within that, there was still areas or things that healing needed to be done, or even deliverance, like my thought patterns or my thoughts on it. So the example I could give is we treat God how others treated us. So for instance, if my father abandoned me and rejected me, I had the Lord showed me, like, you have abandonment and rejection issues. I didn't think I did because I didn't even know my father throughout my life. But I do know the time where he did abandon me. So the Lord took me back to that. But you think, this is what he showed me, you think because of what your father did, I'm going to do that. The way he gave me that example was, it was a moment, I think I mentioned this before, it was a moment where I felt like I wasn't hearing God. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Was I disobedient? Lord, what did I do? And I felt like I didn't hear him no more because I did something wrong. So that's when he started to show me, or he showed me, you still have abandonment and rejection issues. And I was like, I do? Like, how? And he showed me how. So when you are struggling, or if you are struggling to fully trust God, believe God, that needs to be your prayer. Lord, please help me with my unbelief. Being honest about it is letting us know and realize, like, oh, I have an issue, or God already knows. So what he does is reveal it to us. He reveals it for the purpose of, you don't trust my plans because you're trying to do it on your own. When we start doing actions of, oh, I went and sought, oh, I tried to go do this, oh, I thought about, oh, where could my husband be? Let me go into this place. Let me go and see. That's you trying to do it on your own. You're not trusting what God already told you or spoke to you when you start seeking it out to do it on your own. Ask him to help your unbelief, or ask him too to show you, Lord, why I'm not sure why I have this issue. Can you show me where it's coming from? But one of the main things that I realize and understand is we have an issue with trusting the Lord because we're looking at him as people, like how our relationships were with people. So again, if my mother or father abandoned me, I'm thinking God gonna abandon me at any moment. Even though he already said, I will never leave you nor forsake you, I still am gonna struggle with, like, fully believing that until I am healed from what the people did to me, what that person did to me. And then you have it on the flip end where people think they're going to treat God like they treat people. So I hear when people, and the reason I'm saying that is an example is when people like, I was sitting and I told God, God, this, and this gonna happen, and this is like, and I'd be like, oh, you talk to God like that? Ooh, okay. I get to that our relationships with God are how we are, so that. But there's a fine line when it's like, no, I say, God, this got to happen now. I need to know now. I'm like, wow, okay. So you don't see the control in that, which you're needing to know. You don't see that you're trying to make God move. You're trying to make him do what you want. But you do that to other people, and we think that we can come and approach God like that. But what I learned and understand is he gonna tear all that down. Humble yourself before the Lord. All that stuff get knocked down, and we learn to cleanse our mind, cleanse everything, and turn the way that God intended in the first place. Yeah. From there, now we can actually navigate our relationships on it with the pure mind, the cleansed thoughts, the purified heart, in the way that God intended it in the first place. So that's where I've been the past few years, or that's what I know happened to me 2 years ago. I went through that whole process of coming down from what I've been doing, what I know, and seeing it God's way, and then navigating the areas from that point of view, that perspective. And I see how those areas are healed, or just my character changed as well.
Right. And No, I just want to say that this is real good, and it's real good that you said that because especially when you have singles that's preparing for their spouse. These you got to keep in mind. These are things you definitely got to keep in mind because you you have, like we said before in one video, you cannot have a list. You cannot have a list of things that you're making demands that you want God to do, because God's sitting back with his arms folded and he's like, "Oh, really?" And everything that you got or that expecting, it's not gonna happen. Like a good example I could say is we was watching this clean cut comedy, and the guy said that he said to him, he was like, "Bruh, I did not imagine that marriage is gonna be like this." And then he was like, "What you mean that you did not imagine?" He was like, "I ain't imagine, man, it was gonna be this hard." He was like, "See, your first problem is that your imagination. Yep, that's your first problem."
So what do the Bible say about your imagination? Cast it down. So that was the issue. The issue is your imagination, not marriage. It's the imagination that you had, that what you thought it was going to be like, not the fact that you're in a marriage now. It ain't the marriage, it's you.
It's you. Yeah.
So that's good.
So this is real good that my wife said that, and I love the examples that she has given. And honestly, I just really just want you guys to, like, as you're watching, just take heed of like what she is saying, and regardless of the fact of like the mindset or where you at, just hear it. Keep playing it back. Hear it. And as you hearing it, if you're still in that mindset to where your heart is like just hardened, sit by yourself some time alone with God, and he would download things that you need to see, things that you need to understand. Like, okay, this is why you're like this. This is why. This is why. And you'll get a full understanding and a full revelation of like, oh, okay, I see now. And don't get me wrong, I'm a part of that process too. And it took me a very, very long time to really understand it. And once I got the revelation, my eyes open, I'm like, that's what it was. It was so.
I want to hit on when you talked about the list, because that was in my notes. We have expectations of how God will be in certain areas because of how people treated us in those areas, or how we feel people did us in those areas. And then on the other hand, we think we can treat God or come to God like we do with people. When I asked, do you trust God regarding your spouse? When we talk about the videos or had the videos where we talked about the list, the reason why we were so like pushing on this list or the outer appearance when we did those videos, the reason we were talking about that so much is because what I understand and realize is, unless your list is about, and this is for the most part, unless your list is about being made, the man being made in the or in the image and the likeness of Jesus Christ, what's going to happen is that list is going to speak to the areas that you need healing in, or areas that you are not delivered from. Oh, he has to be this height or this because the last boyfriend I had, or the person, when anybody that was this height or whatever, they were insecure.
His name can't be. I'm not dating nobody name.
Yeah, name this or with this letter or and those are very petty, I would say, or very like immature. But I'm trying to think of an example that's not petty and it is a good one or serious. But then, like I said, you gotta see why. Oh, so examples are like this. Oh, I have to. He has to make more money than me, or something like that. Oh, he has to be the lead. He got to do this, or he got to provide for me in this way, and all that is speaking to, for example, that thing is speaking to what your daddy didn't do for you. And that's why you're saying he has to provide in this way. Like, you got a whole imagination or way of how and why. So when you have these things on your list, but then you have these deep examples of why, that is speaking to that inner healing that you need. So your daddy didn't do that. You want him to make up for that. He's not your dad, right? And then the deliverance, I say, more for like when you have toxic ways of thinking, or those things. So like, oh, my last or all my late relationships like this before was like this. That's because you need deliverance. Because why were you going through that cycle over and over? You need to heal. You need to be delivered. Why does your mind think that way, or why do you feel that way on that certain thing? Whether it's you were taught this, you grew up seeing it, or something happened that traumatic that changed you or made you think or feel that way. For example, all men cheat. If he cheat on me, we get divorced. Like, you already coming into it.
Mm-hmm. Without even going through it, like,
yeah, really, you already come into it saying, or deal breaker. So that, for instance, when your list is saying, oh, this is a deal breaker, you're already coming into it prejudging, and you're already coming into it expecting that things happen. So that you're speaking death over it already from the jump. You're speaking that this may end anyway. So I'm gonna just tell you up front. And don't get me wrong, I will say I had deal breakers and things like that, but I didn't tell them to my husband. That's not something that I felt like he needed to know. It was just like, okay, if these things happen, I know I got to get out of here. Like, that was something I knew. But again, if you're bringing those things up and speaking to that healing, where you need healing, your insecurities, and where you need deliverance. So deliverance, I say, is the insecurities. That can go with insecurities. Also, with the list, what you'll come to realize is that you'll see that you're really desiring something that's not aligned to what God's will is or his plan is for your life. So this is why we were talking about, like, throw the list out and to stop looking at the outer appearance, get on the inner. Because what I just said, if it's not about the likeness and the image of Jesus Christ, right. If you're not even in the word to know who Jesus was and what he was for the church, what he was for his bride, or how he's coming back for his bride, if you don't even know that, that's foundational issue. Because then now we got all these imaginations. Yeah. I imagine it being like this. I imagine marriage being like this. People say, oh, the first 2 years were horrible or bad. And I mean, I get people's perspective and or people saying that, but I felt like our first 2 years wasn't. It's how you perceive it. Yeah, it was work. That's how I perceive it, as work. Like, it was some work that needed to be done.
Learning, growing, and building.
But and it's going to be that regardless when you say I do, because you made a covenant that the enemy hates. It's going to be that. Yeah. So if you perceive it like, I already know this coming, so we about to go in and we about to fight, we about to battle, we about to do what we need to do, because this is God's marriage, this is our covenant, and nothing is coming between it. Like God said, that's what God said. We got to make sure nothing comes between this thing. You'll be good. You'll be all right. You'll be fine.
He showed me that mindset of I gotta get control of everything. Like, I gotta, have that control. I gotta do this, so I gotta be, just doing too much. Just said that much too. Having my hands on it and not trusting him. Like, okay, I took this away from you, but you end up bringing it back up on your plate. Okay, I'm gonna show you why. And like I said before, you bang your head up against the wall. Some of us bang our head up against the wall several times, yet we get it and we like, okay, let me get this up off my plate, because I understand why, God, that you said this is not, this is not worth it. I need to trust you into this.
So again, ask yourself the question, do you trust God regarding your spouse? Those that are in preparation to marriage, those that are dating to marry. Do you really trust God? Do you really believe him? How you'll know is your actions in it. Where are your hands at in this plan? Where are your hands at in believing God for your spouse? Are you trying to touch at it too much? Are you trying to control it? Are you trying to make sure it come to pass, or are you just praying? Are you praying? That's a whole nother video, because your actions is going to show that. Am I just saying, okay, Lord, let me pray for my husband today? Let me show me, Lord, I'm praying, or while I'm spending time with the Lord, what do I need to pray for my spouse and those things? Or are you just waiting to be God? Ask yourself that, and wherever you're not believing or your belief is not there fully, take those scriptures and meditate on them, pray on them, so that you can actually walk out the belief. Have peace in that. And that's what I mean walk out. You have peace regardless if I get a husband or not. I'm fine. I have peace knowing that God is going to choose the man for me. So doesn't matter that all these men doing this and they don't want me. None of that matters because God is going to open his eyes to see me when it's time.
Yep.
So that's all I have for that. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways. Acknowledge him, and he would direct your path. He will make your path straight. Trust that God knew you before he formed you. He knew your husband. If he knew you, he knew your husband. And he said these two will be who marry. Like, you have to trust, like, that's the belief you have to have.
Or he knew your wife.
Yeah, I know the
Fellas,
Lord.
you ain't
know who I'm supposed
either.
to be with. So it's gonna work out. It's gonna be good. I'm good. Take my hands off it. Lord, in your timing, when you're ready. But right now, like I used to say, get me together because I know I'm a mess. But okay, guys, that's all we have for today. We will see you guys in the next one. Comment below if you like this content. Make sure you like it so that we can continue to push forward content like this. Until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye.